Good evening, Diego. It must be very late right now. It's currently Tuesday, March 31st, and today we received some bad news from the Mexican government. We are extending the confinement, meaning the lockdown, for up to end of April. The Mexican government said that we may have a peak in August, so this is according to the French expats living in Mexico. So I hope it's wrong. Seems a bit scary because they're just waking up. They're just realizing the problem is bigger than they thought. They underestimated the issue. So we're gonna stay home longer than expected. I don't know if it's the case for you guys in Brazil, if the lockdown has been extended. It's depressing, but you know, as long as people have they can work from home, I think it's a nice distraction because, yeah, it's a bit too long. Hand sanitizer is like the antibacterial gel, but we call it the hand sanitizer. And so it's it's affecting everyone, young, old people. They had a lot of cases of people in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 20s with the coronavirus. Some people, you know, die from it. Some people don't really deal with this stuff very well. There was this woman, she's like 28 and she's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant and she has a virus. And she's in an American hospital, so she's fighting for her life right now. And so everyone can be affected. It's not just for old people. Or people with chronic disease, you know, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth. So I hope you're gonna find a solution and being able to get out before the economy collapses, because that is happening everywhere. Just keep that in mind. You know, be conservative. Avoid like crazy things. I mean, this is not the year to buy a house or to buy a car or to buy any big thing. This is a year where you have to take care of your money, make money, and also your health. So anyway, we want to talk about the subjunctive. What is a subjunctive? Well, it's a very interesting tense. There we go, the 5th edition. Because I'm pretty sure in Portuguese you guys have something like that. In French it's very common. It's very, very common. An example with a subjunctive would be like, if I were you, I would go to this party. Well, me people are like, well, that's not correct. If I was you, well, we're using here subjunctive. Okay. Let me see if they have the subjunctive. Usually in these kind of books, they talk about the main important tenses, because you have to feel comfortable with these guys before going a bit too sophisticated. But it's important to know this. So anyway, the subjunctive, let's see if it's around. Modals, to be supposed to, should, we know that. Okay. And degrees of certainty, present tense, can be interesting too. I would rather, that is an interesting, important expression. The passive, that is something we're going to have to also talk about. Reported speech, he said that he wanted to go. Whose instead of who. Gerund is like any ing form. Okay. Adverbs. Feels like there is no subjunctive. So if I just randomly go to Google, that's Chrome, so I don't know if I'm gonna be on Google here. I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna be like, I want to talk about, don't pay attention. So I want to talk about the subjunctive in English. It's a rare thing. Okay, let's see here. Sometimes an image is better. So the English subjunctive is a special, relatively rare verb form that expresses something desired or imagined. We use the subjunctive mainly when talking about events that are not certain to happen. For example, we use the subjunctive when talking about events that somebody wants to happen. Well, so let's just go through all these images. Well, that should be even smaller. Let's see, the image is big enough. Well, that's okay. The subjunctive in English. What is subjunctive? Subjunctive is a verb form in English that is relatively rare. Okay, so it's a special kind of present tense for all verbs except that past tense of be, where the subjunctive is the same as the infinitive without to. Therefore, the subjunctive is simply the basic verb form. Okay, okay. I need some. If I were king, there would be no more famines, like people starving. The chairman requests that all members of the board be present at the meeting. I demand that you provide us with a full explanation. Ah, we need an S, but it's not a present, it's a subjunctive. The subjunctive is generally used when talking about something that may or may not happen. It could be something that the speaker wants, hopes for, expects, or imagines. The following are more examples of subjunctive. As you can see, the structure that the subjunctive takes is generally as follows. Subject, verb, demand. Well, doesn't make any sense here. So, the verbs that are commonly used before subjunctives are: I advise you be nice today. I have a subjunctive here. So advise, to ask, beg, decide, decree. Decreed that everyone will be a millionaire. Desire, dictate, insist, intend, move, order, petition, propose, recommend, request, require, resolve, suggest, urge, and vote. Another pattern exists as well, in which that is preceded by an expression rather than the verb. For example, in the sentence, it is essential that the goods be delivered on time. It is essential is the expression, but we have that. It's not always like that. So the expression that are commonly used with subjunctives are: it is desirable, imperative, essential, necessary, important that you come today at 5, for instance. Now, in the example, if I were king, there seems to be a slight problem, which is that king is a singular noun, so the verb preceding it should normally be was, not were. However, this construction does not use was. Were is the past subjunctive of be, and is formally always with if, and certain other words, phrases such as I wish, as if. It is simply a quirk of the language, a strange aspect of the language. The following are more examples of the same. If I were you, I would take a stand on the issue. Like I would face the problem, and make a stronger opinion, give a stronger opinion. If he were not so intelligent, he would have fired him for his insolence. I wish she weren't so dull. you act as if you were a king. If I were Anna, I would play the guitar. So just keep that in mind. We're gonna keep doing it, okay? So anyway, the situation is getting worse here. So just be careful. Try to stay safe. If you go out, really take all the precautions because you don't want to be affected by that. Many people underestimate this virus, but in fact, it's a nasty thing. The situation in America is horrible, and I don't know when it's gonna end. They don't even know themselves. You have a nice night, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. Take care, Diego.